the world and executive producer of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, Edgar Wright.
What a nice way to come to Vidiots for the first time. Okay, so back in August the 13th, 2010, when my film adaptation of Bryan Lee O'Malley's beloved Scott Pilgrim books opened at number 5 in the box office, trailing far, far behind new releases like The Expendables at number 1 and Eat, Pray, Love at number 2, the trade magazines and box office websites were quick to sound the death knell. And unusually for me, I made a rare, sensible decision in not reading any of these articles for the sake of my own mental health. However, I am aware that some strong negative words were thrown around about its performance, including the F word and the B word. But as I'm sure everybody in this, especially in Vidiots, knows, you can't write the epitaph for a film on the Monday morning after it comes out. And sometimes, when a film doesn't perform as well as everybody hoped, everyone involved runs for the hills and dares not speak its name again. However, it is a credit to my cast and crew that they absolutely did not do that. And like me, I know they were also proud of the film, and we knew that there was an audience out there who loved the story, and it was just going to take a little longer than 72 hours to find them. And then over the next 13 years, a combination of things happened. Myself, the cast, and Bryan, the creator, continued to promote the movie long after the press tour was over. Even by the end of 2010, we were regularly appearing at midnight shows and revivals in LA. Bryan's beautiful books continued to grow in legend, as did the number of reissues of the film and the soundtrack, along with the demand for the amazing Ubisoft game with the Ace soundtrack by Anna Managuchi. So, it's a surprising turn of events for a film that did not debut at number 1, but here we are in 2023, about to see a magnificent anime version of Eat, Pray, Love. Wouldn't it be great if that was actually the prank? But seriously, whenever I was asked by fans or journalists over the years if there would be any further sequels or screen adaptations of Scott Pilgrim, I would usually say, well, that's up to Bryan Lee O'Malley. And usually that would be a deflection until it wasn't. It had long been suggested that we do an anime version. So when myself and Adam and Jared talked to Bryan about the idea, and then we talked to Netflix and UCP, he went off with his fellow mad genius, BenDavid Grabinski, and they came up with a genius idea to continue the saga. Now, just before I bring those two wizards on stage to talk about what you see tonight, I want to give it up for a couple of people in the room who worked on both the original film and the new show. The aforementioned Jared LaBeouf and Adam Siegel. At a screening of Shaun of the Dead in 2004, they literally pressed a copy of Bryan's first Scott Pilgrim book into my hand and said, "This is your next movie." But that wasn't true. My next movie was Hot Fuzz. But it was the one after that, and that's pretty close. Also in the house is my longtime producer, Naira Park, without whom I would be nothing. And also Leo Thompson, who I've worked with for 16 years and whose first film with me was Scott Pilgrim. And we do have to talk about the, not just the cast, but the unsung superheroes of the film, the casting directors. Listen up, Captain. Tonight in the house is the incredible Alison Jones. Who, along with Robin Cook in Toronto and Jen Houston in New York, helped me put together this murderous row of comedic actors. So thank you, Alison, for helping put together the best cast ever. And like you, I can barely believe that the entire original cast is back for this show. We've been on a group email since 2010, and I was given the task of enticing them all back. And it's a testament to how much we love this material that they all replied within a couple of hours. And also, because Fran Drescher is triumphant and the SAG strike is over, literally, this is all had them in the last 48 hours. I am over the moon to say that some of the cast of the original film and the new show are in the house. Let's bring them up right now. So please welcome, returning in the part of Matthew Patel, Satya Bhabha. And returning in the part of Todd Ingram, Routh. And returning in the part of Knives Chau, it's only Ellen Wong. And last but by no means least, Ramona Flowers herself. Okay, well, without further ado, to tell you about the incredible work you're about to see on screen, let's bring up the men who cracked the way to continue this universe. The original creator of Scott Pilgrim and his co-creator and co-showrunner of this new venture. Vidiots, give it up for Bryan Lee O'Malley and BenDavid Grabinski.
I forgot my mic. Hello, thank you for being here.
Okay, this is more intense and emotional than I was expecting, so please forgive us. But I was going to memorize this, and I told Brian I would, and he's like, I'm going to print mine out, and I didn't memorize it. So I just want to briefly mention the venue we're at tonight, the Vidiots Theater. Brian and I are both members and really big fans of this place. We love the programming. I've introduced some stuff here. But unfortunately, the Vidiots community experienced a tragic loss last week. And before we get into our introduction and our long list of special thanks, we want to take a very brief moment to pay respects to Doug Jones and everyone affected by his passing.
All right, I'll hop on. You're about to see Scott Pilgrim take off in a whole new way that only animation can achieve. We're honored to have some of our collaborators at Science Saru here tonight, all the way from Tokyo, including our series director, Abel Donagora. It's probably too dark to see them, but they're back there somewhere.
You should stand up
You guys
here, and
wanna
everyone
stand?
should clap because he's awesome.
He's a brilliant man. Thank you guys so much.
All right, so we have a lot of people to thank, and I'm going to try to go fast, but not too fast so you can't understand me. So I want to say thanks to Anna Monoguchi and Joseph Trapanese for their incredible score. I know you heard something while you were sitting here. I think all of it is really sick. And also Joe's team, Jason and Thomas. We're so fucking happy with all the music in the show. Thanks to UCP and Lakeshore for all their help with a very complicated soundtrack, which is all our fault. And it's going to be on digital next week.
Next week.
And thanks to the brilliant Dean Hurley for creating some special audio for episode 3 that'll make sense once you see it.
I don't know who of these people are here, but thank you to our tireless UCP execs, Josh and Ryan. Producer Daniel. Voice director, Tony Oliver, the legend from the original Robotech. Everyone at Bang Zoom. Our assistant, Mal Smith. I don't know where John, thank you. Dylan and Kohei at Netflix. Thank you guys so much. And thank you especially to Josie, Hallie, Margaret, and Mackenzie for running all the marketing and
All right, so I'm going to do like the 14th thank you to our EPs. Everyone else just had to keep doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So thank you to Edgar, Adam and Jared, Mark Platt, also our really brilliant cast, which I honestly cannot believe that some of you are here.
They're here.
It's the weirdest thing.
You guys notice?
I didn't know that was going to happen. But I have to thank all the EPs on my own separately because they made Scott Pilgrim before, but this is the first time where they had to put up with me, so thank you personally. And finally, I want to thank my girlfriend Chris for everything.
Thank you, Chris and Mary, for putting up with us. Okay, so, and you know what? I gotta thank the fans, because the fans, many of them worked on the show. We wouldn't be here without them. And, let's give it up for the fans. All right, so now, right before we throw into the show, what are we gonna say? There are some surprises in this show. You might be surprised. I know a lot of you have waited years, perhaps decades for this. So, all we're going to say is very gently, let's try not to spoil the fun for anyone outside of this room.
We would really appreciate it if you don't go on like Reddit or Twitter or a big group chat and say all the big surprises from the show, because we're hoping we can keep them secret a little bit longer.
There's only 1 week left.
But if you love the show, feel free to talk about how much you love it. That would be great. But we're trying to keep all that until the show drops on November 17th. And on that note,
Enjoy the first 3 episodes of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
there will be a Q&A after. It's 3 episodes and we'll have a brief Q&A after.
3 episodes and then a Q&A. That's right. We'll be back. All right. Thank you guys so much.